I'm here with Marcie Williams, Chief Strategy Officer for the Bainbridge Companies. Marcie, thanks for joining me.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
We're here at the RETCON conference, and one of the recurring themes of the first day here is that all this technology is occurring at a time where owners and operators are focusing on improving NOI. What's your take on that?
Honestly, we're always trying to improve NOI. I wouldn't necessarily say it's completely different this year, but times are challenging with oversupply in some of the markets, and concessions that are needed to complete lease ups. So we're always looking for ways, but technology has really been enhancing what we've been doing and taking some of the focus, and giving some of the focus back to the teams on site so they can do what they do best, which is take care of the residents, and then using AI and technology to take some of the mundane functions off of our teams so they can look up and out and take care of our residents. I mean, ultimately, that's going to drive NOI because happy residents stay longer, pay more. We can lease up faster. So that's always a goal to bring into NOI. At Bainbridge, I would say we're not using technology to replace anybody. Thinking if that's a way to increase NOI, take a technology, get rid of somebody. So we're not taking that approach today. We're just using it to enhance the resident experience and our team members' experience.
Yeah, that's another one of the questions or themes that's coming up today. What is the role of the human now and going forward?
I really strongly believe that the humans are going to do what we do best, which is take care of our residents, honestly. And I think it's important today how we want to serve the customer, meaning does the customer want to call in, talk to AI, and give a service request? They want to go online, punch in a service request, get updated information without talking to anybody. But somebody's got to go fix the toilet, right? I mean, somebody still has to go fix the air conditioning. We don't have robots to do that. So, and we don't have the technology. So from that aspect, we still need the humans. And then, taking care of somebody in their homes, really personal experience. People are coming to us because they're, have a life change, good or bad. It's our job to take care of them. And when they want to see an apartment, we want to give them different ways with a person, with technology. It's really about choices to enhance the customer experience. And we're always going to need humans for that.
I sat in on the panel you were on today, and you talked about one of your challenges. Bainbridge is 60% third-party property management.
Right.
So how would that differ from how would implementing technology in your portfolio different from an owner-operator?
I think it's a real advantage for our third-party clients because we're going to take the product and test it on our own assets. Maybe another way to say that is we'll take on that risk first, vet the technology, negotiate maybe a master service agreement or the right pricing for the community itself. Once we have tested it, vetted it, and rolled it out with our own platform, then we can roll it out quicker with our third party rather than having them test it. And then go through maybe a pain point that they don't want to. Now, all of our communities really run seamlessly. Whether you're at a Bainbridge owned asset or a third party Bainbridge, you're still going to have the same service and have the same things. But as technology evolves or as new programs come on, again, we'll take on the risk. We'll vet it first. And then once it's done, sign, seal, deliver, and put in a bow, then it'll be a lot easier to deploy at our third party assets.
What is your message to smaller owners and operators that are thinking of making these big investments?
Yeah. Well, I think you have to prioritize. even a company like Bainbridge, I mean, we have 20,000 units. We're not a big company. There's obviously smaller and some that are a lot bigger that might have innovation departments or, specific technology departments. And we have a little bit of that. But really, when we look at, again, we're always looking at what it's going to take to make our teams and our residents' lives better. We look at the customer journey and what that roadmap looks like, meaning from zero moment of truth when somebody finds us for the first time all the way until the time they move out. And we actually just did this within our organization, and it was not a big group. I mean, this was just department leaders. We had mapped it out and we said, okay, where are these customer touch points? Where do we need the human? Where do we need just technology? And where do we need both? And then we looked at all of that, and then we said, where are our gaps and where are our biggest pain points? It's really, I mean, it could be one person sitting down, with a legal pad and writing this down. It's not hard, but the biggest challenge is where to prioritize. Because if you start making everything a priority, nothing's a priority. And really, how can you make the biggest impact on NOI? I would say it's taking care of the resident and, filling the communities up and keeping the communities full and being able to have the highest rents possible, to give the residents the best value. There are departments within these large companies that can sit there and have a think tank, and that's awesome. But there's also the leaders of the company that can sit there and think about it as well and plot it out. So that's what we have to do. We did that in 2025. We said, this is what we want to do. Here's the technology we want to implement. We're going to build what we call our Bainbridge blueprint for 2026, and that's where we are today. And we're already right now planning on our blueprint for 2027. Not every technology that we're using today is going to be there. We'll be bringing on some new technology, but we've got to evolve. Any company, big or small, has got to evolve, and it's never a set and forget it. It just never is. You always have to say, is this working? Yes, no, maybe so, and then figure out what we're going to do next. But we really have to think about the teams on site, right? I mean, because how are they going to be able to adopt it, and how are they going to be able to effectively implement it so we're not disrupting what they do every day, leasing apartments, taking care of the residents, fixing and taking care of the asset.
And things are moving so fast, you don't know what technologies will be there in 2027.
It is crazy, but we've got to already we have to think about, and we did this, I wouldn't say overhaul, but we did a big assessment and picked our vendor partners for our best in class platform. Now, if I've got, I'm going to say 12 as an example, I don't need to replace 12 and I don't need to redo everything. It might be, I just need to take this one thing that's not working, get rid of it, and then bring on something else that maybe is more AI driven or maybe suits our residents a little bit better. Again, you just have to be able to figure out what you're going to do and not be overwhelmed. At a conference like this, it can be overwhelming, and like there's a lot of technology and there's a lot of people serving a lot of different needs and fixing problems. And I will tell you, we probably have every one of these problems, right?
Yes.
I mean, someone says, well, are you focused on this? Are you doing this? Of course. Yeah, that's really important. But I've got to figure out what's most important right now.
So what is your advice to all the innovators and vendors that are here at RETCON that want to approach you?
I'm happy to be approached. I'm happy to listen. I'm always happy to learn because I think the vendor partners know a lot. I mean, they are saying, I know this is a problem and I'm going to solve it for you. And I always want to listen. I can't listen at the exact time maybe they want me to listen. And I do, if I'm not able to speak to people today, then I'm happy to set a time to speak another time. But knowing that either that's a problem I am trying to solve and the timing works out perfectly, or it is a problem I just am not going to be able to take care of it today. And I think when the vendors are patient, and they really want to help and I use the word partner, intentionally, then it's a great relationship. But I think sometimes they've got their elevator pitch and they can say it really quick. And it's like, you know what? that is not on my roadmap right now, but let's set a call for 6 months from now. I would still consider that a win.
Mhm.
So,
Okay. Well, Marcie, thank you so much for taking some
you're
time
welcome.
for us.
My pleasure.
Okay. Thank
Thanks.
you.
Thanks.